All right, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
A few moments later.
Okay. All right. Might be good. I can work with those. I can manage those vocals.
Oh, well, Lord, give us the words to say.
Now, welcome back to the podcast. I am Mr. Mo.
And I am Pops.
This guy right here, y'all probably wondering who he is. Yes, he is Pop. The thing about Pop is that he's Pop to many. I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for this man sitting to my right. If you ever wonder, how did I get to the way that I am? Sometimes my mannerisms, my will to keep learning, to always better myself, to even show feelings, to be a man. I had a set of tools, but then this man right here gave me a different set of tools. And this is truly, to me, an honor.
It was my privilege.
Yeah. So now we want to I kind of want to take people back to the beginning. They say they diving straight in. Yes, we are diving straight in. Yeah. We are diving straight in because Pop, he has to sleep. He has to get some rest. But this is going to be my co-host for a lot of the podcasts that we're going to be doing. For matter of fact, let me ask you, Pop, how you feel about that?
I'm excited about this opportunity. Since I've never have did anything like this before.
Okay.
I know y'all have recorded me before for other reasons.
And have.
Because you won't follow the instructions. But, I take it as an honor to be able to do this and to share. Because certainly God don't want us to take what we have and keep it and keep it buried.
Yeah.
Like the man did when he gave out the talents.
Right.
Take and bury it.
Yeah.
So he don't want us to take things and bury it. He want us to share it. Because what does it profit me to hold on to it and not give it to somebody else?
Exactly.
Because I'm not going to be here always.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
So I'm looking forward to this journey, and I've been doing podcasts for on and off for quite a while, but I feel like this one right here it feels different. Like, not just because, it's the Over podcast. A lot of people think, okay, it has a lot to do with me, but it has nothing to do with me at all. I'm just a vessel. And I, just like I said last podcast, episode 2, that honestly, I don't want to do this. And those I feel like that I've seen who don't really want to preach, who don't really want to teach, who don't really want the limelight or be celebrities out here, they give the most truest message, because it's like, okay, it's not because I want to do it, because I'm being obedient, and obedience is better than sacrifice. So for me, when I asked you, I was like, man, let me ask Pop and see if he want to do this. Because this is like, is it new to you, or have you always seen yourself? Because
I've always wanted to do it, and I've been told years ago that I should do one, but I never really pursued it. But because what I'm gonna be doing on here is what I do all the time anyway.
True.
So I mean, it's a normal, natural thing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned about doing something like this, because I think we have to understand that when we do ministry, it's not just in the pulpit.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
Ministry comes in a number of ways. We don't have to preach, but we can certainly talk and share information. Yeah. We can share thoughts and insight to people, because I think that's what people need is insight.
Yeah.
People need an understanding.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing is to have misunderstanding.
Yeah. What's your saying on
misunderstanding? Is understanding to the one that misunderstood.
I hope you understood that.
Yeah, because if you don't know any different, and you will think that you're correct, but you have a misunderstanding because of your own concept.
My favorite thing that I say around here, perception is key.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Depending on how you see it, that's to me, that will identify your true evidence of what's in your heart.
Yeah.
Because if nobody can, and if nobody can change your belief on certain things, I always tell people have an open mind. Because at first I didn't believe in that Jesus was Jesus, or that God was God, or any of this thing that I never seen myself really following the steps of being saved. I'm talking about saved for real, not living the life, but my heart is like millions of miles away from him, period. So,
and I think most of us have experienced that.
Yeah.
Because it's something new, it's different. See, when you're a child and you come up and you give the preacher your hand and God your heart kind of thing.
Right.
You don't really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're kind of enticed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as you age, you mature, you grow in life, you have experiences, and then things become a little bit more real for you, because I think we get caught up sometimes in what people do traditionally. Or what people have always done or dealt with it. Because I know when I was growing up, I was very inquisitive about some of the stuff people would do in church.
Got you.
But nobody could give me an answer, though.
I think I always heard of things not to do, but never broke down to me like in ways that I can understand. Okay, even though I'm telling you not to do, this is the reason why I'm telling you not to do this.
Yeah.
There was no foundation of, we always heard, don't sleep with this person. Don't, like, we heard, don't drink, don't cuss, don't do, like, but we never had the back when I was cut. Yeah. Like, it's just like,
why shouldn't we do that?
That's why we found out the hard way.
Yeah. Cause our thing was, well, it must be something good, because you told us not to do.
And if you pay attention,
and that's not the right attitude to have, but that's the only thing we could go on.
But if you pay attention, though, reverse psychology.
Yeah,
if you tell somebody not to look, what they gonna do?
Yeah, they gonna look. What's her name? Priscilla. What's the woman's name?
What's her
name?
God
told her not to look back.
Sarah.
And she did, and turn to salt. A pillow of salt. So we have to. But see, that's why people need understanding.
Yeah,
it is nothing. The Bible even says, out of all you're getting, get
understanding. Yeah.
He didn't just say that for no reason at all.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. And I think that will be helpful to people. And that's what we can do every day, whether we on a podcast or whether we just out and about, whether we doing our jobs or whatever. It's always behooves us to give people understanding.
Yeah.
We should not turn people away and say, well, I don't know, you don't need to worry about that, just do this. No.
Which happens.
If they ask the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember a young man that used to live with me years ago. And once he moved out, had gotten married, had a son, and he was at an age, so he was watching TV with his dad, and he saw somebody kiss.
Gotcha.
And he asked the dad what that was about. Well, he didn't know what to say, so he asked me, well, what should I say? He asked you? You all tell it.
Right. Before you hear from somebody else.
Explain it to him.
Yeah.
Before someone else give him the wrong information. So I think that's real important, and I think this is a great way for things to get out. You may not have millions of people, but if we could change one,
that's all that counts.
That would make that's a difference. That's a start.
And I think that's why it was such a push. Now I think I was sharing with you, it was such a push to do this because I had so many. If I'm gonna be honest, I had a lot of failed attempts at starting the podcast, but it was with other people. But it would start, but it would never really just get off the ground. And I used to be like, man, why? And it was, I was leaning more toward the group than actually really applying what God had given me, like the knowledge and the passion just to see people in a whole different area. And this platform, this space is challenging, but at the end of the day, it costs you nothing. But time. It's cheap.
Yeah. But you have to have a passion to do this if you're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna make a difference in a life, I think you have to have some type of passion about it.
Yeah.
You should have a desire to want to do it. You have a hunger for it. That's one of the things I liked about Les Brown in his early years of motivation.
That's my guy.
When you want something, you got to be hungry.
You got to be hungry. Yeah.
You got to be hungry. And you got to do what it takes. And but then I also believe that we have to wait and listen to what God says.
Definitely.
Yeah. And you was trying to get it off, but you was on your own trying to do that.
Yeah.
Because I got to get it done. I got to get it done.
Yeah.
I got to get it done. And that's not what God wanted.
Yeah.
Everything is in time.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for everything.
That's why I love this right here. Like, even this just feels awesome, feel wonderful. I feel laid back, feel cool. You know what I'm saying? But I want to go back to the beginning of when we, like, when I first came to the church, this how I met Pop, y'all. If you don't know the story, I'm from Ohio. So, in Ohio, it's a strange, rough place. Most people will say it's not rough, but, when you live there and, like, you understand, you see other people's worlds versus your world. You see other people's ghetto versus your ghetto, and you be like, man, this is awesome here.
Yeah.
So I'm from Ohio, so I came here. My wife trapped me. No, I'm joking. She didn't trap me. She didn't trap me. She didn't trap me.
Each other.
You know what I'm saying? I felt like, and I was explaining this to Mom, that I felt like I was in a trance. But this was after our encounter, because I came to the church and I told my wife, I said, she wasn't my wife at the time. She was my side chick. Nah, I'm joking. She wasn't my side chick. She was my main one. And she'd look around the corner, whatever. But I remember when I came to the church, I said I didn't want to go to church because I was like, when I was a sinner, I'm 100% sinner. Like, I don't want to hear about no Jesus, no God. You know what I'm saying? The Jesus and God. Look, this beer died on the cross for me, and this weed helped save us. And that was what I worshiped daily.
Yeah. That's
When I was a sinner, I was 100% sinner. I went hard. So when I came to the church,
I had a good time.
And I had a great time.
Yeah.
Terrific time. Yeah.
But sometimes we're in denial of that kind of thing.
But
it's
real.
Real.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem nowadays. But that's a whole nother topic. But so when I came to the church, I think the thing I love about the church, and I think my wife was like, when you go in there, they're gonna be hugging. They're very huggy. Like very touchy feely. I'm like, man, first I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna hug me. You know what I'm saying? You get this fist bump. So come into the church, immediately as I enter the door, I remember feeling things melt off of me. It was like a lightness that was happening at that point. So I get to the door, deacon on the door. He comes in. He's like, "Hey, man." And I'm going back. I'm playing in my head, man. We ain't hugging nobody in here. You know what I'm saying? We on that soft stuff. Of course, I ain't say soft stuff back then.
Yeah.
But he reached his hand out and said, "Hey, man." So I was like, "Man, come on, man." My guards was down.
Yeah.
He caught me when my guards was down. So I enjoyed the service as Prophet was teaching. I had a moment of clarity where I understood what he was saying. I can talk back to as far as what he's saying. I didn't feel like I was lost in service. I actually felt like, okay, I can engage if asked a question. So it was towards the end of the church, and I'm thinking to myself, I know all churches do this. Do we have any visitors? I was praying. At this point, I was praying. I'm like, Jesus, please do not let these people, let them forget. Stir up the seed of forgetfulness in this church right now, Lord, because I don't want nobody to ask me if, I'm a visitor, because I just wanted to, attend, get what I need to get,
and get on
up out of there, right?
Yeah.
So me and Mom, they asked if there were any visitors. So, of course, my wife snitched on me. At that time, she was my side chick because she snitched on me at the time. But, no, she's my main chick. But I remember raising my hand, stood up, and me and Mom were having a conversation back and forth, but it was as if. Hey, matter of fact, if you are looking for a great coffee,
try Rise, R-Y-Z-E.
Our Rise coffee is truly amazing. At first, I had a hard time really staying up, a difficult time going to sleep. But this new Rise has risen up in my life and has given me new hope. It is a mushroom coffee. This coffee is amazing. You can get it in the chai tea. You can get it matcha. You can get it in the cocoa. The cocoa will knock you out.
It will if it's for bed.
If you think Mike Tyson hit hard, check out this cocoa.
And if you would like 15% off forever, even on your subscriptions, you can type in the Made over Insta 15. That is THEMADEOVERINSTA 15 for 15% off your order and your subscriptions.
There you go. Get you some Rise in your life.
Some rising.
Let it change your life.
It will.
Back to our regular schedule program. We knew each other immediately. Off top, I fell in love with Mom. Like she's very cool, but it's gonna be sad when I have to leave here. She gonna be one. She gonna be one of the ones. You know what I'm saying? She gonna be one of the ones. I be like, that's a cool lady. That's a cool lady right there.
Yeah.
So after church is over, I was ready to book out. And I remember you coming up to me. You said, we shook hands, and you was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, I'm just gonna get this dude, But
you knew it wasn't in the church. It was in the parking lot. You was at the car. You were waiting on Tiff.
Oh, it's a side B. Don't try it. Go ahead. And explain this. This makes sense.
And then I held your hand.
Right.
And that messed you up.
Yeah.
And I told you some things that was going on. Matter of fact, I told you that you were running.
Yeah.
You trying to get away.
And at that time, I had track shoes on.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw it too.
It was some pains that I was literally battling with, struggling with. And I was just, I remember those words like it echoes. Like it was just like, hey son, you got to stop running.
Yeah. Am I talking to you?
Yeah. And tell me from your side as far as what did you see at that point in time?
You was just running. You were trying to get away from everything. Because I think you was at a point where you were confused. You didn't know what to do. You was in a whole new place.
Yeah.
You know how these folks were. You didn't know nothing about us. Only somebody you knew was Tip.
That was it.
And you could only go on what she was saying.
Yeah.
But then we say, well, you know how women are. You know, they get emotional and all of this and
exactly,
stuff. You know,
yeah.
but that ain't what you wanted, because what you was doing was trying to present. That's why I held your hand and wouldn't let it go. Because you was trying to be this tough guy.
Yeah.
I'm the man. I'm it. You know. And I think after that, and I said that to you, and I told you, well, I'll see you later then, man.
And did.
Yeah.
You did say that.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I think when I left, I think I went back to the house, started drinking. listen, people. I'm gonna keep it honest. Like, it didn't happen like, oh yeah, you need to start running. I didn't start running in.
No.
I believe I went home, but it was on my heart. I kept hearing. I felt like after leaving church that night, because it was a Wednesday. I do remember that. It was a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I felt like I was in this trance. I was in this battle between sinning and following God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to follow God with my bottle and my weed, my porn addictions.
You won't have to give up now.
I mean, or corn addictions or different. Like I wanted to have all that and God at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But I found out later on that it's impossible.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right. You cannot serve two.
Like it just don't go together.
No, it don't work.
I remember going home. I just remember.
Yeah, you did left because that was one thing made you happy. I'm gonna
yeah, that's when I knew it. I'm like, yeah. Then I'm just gonna have that light skinned lady come to me, but it worked. But I remember feeling more and more like a pull.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like, listen,
mm-hmm.
It was, and the thing is, it wasn't a pull like that was a cool place, but it was tugging on my heart. Yeah. It was tugging at my heart, like, listen, you need to be here, you need to be here. Mm-hmm. And I just remember telling everybody, yeah, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and move XYZ. And, you know, me and my wife was talking, you know, different other stuff like that. Long story short, but I felt like I was just, I felt like something took over my body, and I made every reservations, move everything out the way. Me and my wife, to make sure that I was able to get here. I remember getting into an argument with my son's mother, and we were going back and forth. Like we were. I'm talking about going back and forth. This is this, and by the end of the whole conversation, I just remember her saying, like, "Yeah, you know something, you can just go ahead and go. Maybe it's better for you."
Huh? Revelation.
She like, yeah, you can go ahead and go.
She probably ain't know what she was.
Great part. She probably doesn't.
Yeah.
If I brought like in a lot of strongholds that I felt were strongholds, that I was like, okay, if I go, then like they gonna be, because my main thing was my children, my boys.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave them because I wasn't.
Right.
I was raised like that, but I didn't want to be that.
Right.
Like, I know my dad wasn't there for me, but I didn't want to be the person that wasn't there for their sons. Because I know how it is. I know how that felt. So I just remember coming back. I made my way back. And I've just felt like somebody was just like a mouse just controlling me. And the crazy part, and I want people to understand, coming to God does not mean, that's what I love about World Changes, that in my broken state, I think, because I came back, and that following next time I was in church, I joined church. Mm-hmm. And this was with bottles, weed, like I joined with everything. all the gunk, all the it's like literally God take me as I am.
But that's what he does.
Yeah.
And you gave me a revelation just now.
Talk to me.
To hear, take me just as I am. And I haven't always seen it the way you just said it. That's take me as I am with the drugs, with the alcohol.
Yeah.
Everything that
all the addictions.
Being in the street.
Yeah.
Take me with all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what he does is he brings us in and then he cleanses us.
Yeah.
Wash me, Lord. Wash me.
Yeah.
He cleanses us.
Yeah.
Because at that point, when you make that decision to join, that's what you were saying, Lord, I'm tired. Get this stuff off me.
Oh, man. And I think I talked, somebody asked me why did I move? And it was a family member. I'm not going to oust them, but it is what it is. A lot of people not going to understand things that it's like, I didn't understand it, but I knew I had to do it. I had to.
And then it's not for them to understand because they never would have understood it because they're doing some of the same stuff you're doing.
So it's like, why are you leaving this common ground?
Yeah. and this is something that somebody out in the audience might be dealing with because sometimes when you are making a change, the very people that you are doing what you're doing have now become threatened.
That's facts.
Because if I'm changing, that means that if I have a relationship with you, I got to change.
Yeah.
Or either I got to go back to what I was doing.
Because that's the only way it works.
Because you're not going to stay together.
Nah.
If you don't come on one or the other side.
Yeah. Because
so if you're on opposite ends,
yeah,
that can't stay. That's like water and oil.
Yeah.
It won't mix.
Yeah. Definitely.
So that's what happens a lot of times, even in families. When families fuss at you, you need to go to school. You need to do this.
Yeah.
You need to do that, and you start doing it. Oh, now you better than we are.
Yeah.
You think you better than we are now. You and your little Jesus.
Being sober.
Yeah, being sober. Don't want. Come on, man, hit with us.
You know what I'm saying?
And so that's how that happens.
Yeah.
Because what do y'all got to talk about?
We still don't. To this day. Like,
you can speak.
Yeah.
You can be cordial. But we can't be going sitting down and eat nowhere.
Yeah.
Because we ain't got nothing to talk about.
And the conversations are always going to be, hey, remember when you met that one?
Yeah. That's when you get into the glorifying of the stuff that you've done. And you making it now because their goal is because they still with the other guy.
Yep.
I'm going to make them remember how good it was.
They with the other master.
Yeah. What good a time you had.
Right.
No cares in the world. But you was steady sinking.
And I told somebody, I felt like I was walking around dying and there was nobody willing to help or throw a life raft.
Yeah.
That's how I felt back on. Like I felt that at any given moment, I was up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was literally at the back of my neck. So that's why when you said it hit different when you said you need to stop running because I was running from that because I knew that death. It wasn't about being locked up in jail. I felt like death was at my door knocking.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I was that's why I was like, oh snap, this dude knows something.
This old man.
This dude the feds.
He don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't understand it until even years later, just looking back, and I was just like, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we don't always get it right then.
We don't.
Sometimes that's why we have to tell folks, You may not understand it right now, but let's just do it. Follow us.
Yeah.
The song says we will understand it better by and by.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll understand it later on.
It makes sense why God
you may
gives
not
them parts.
get it right now.
Yeah.
And that's why we can't be upset with God when something changes in our lives, because we have to be careful about what we ask for, and we forget what we done asked for.
Yeah.
And so when God does what we've asked, you wonder what's happening. Why this happening?
And the crazy part is you prayed that prayer when you was drunk. He said, Lord Jesus, please take this away from me. All right.
Yeah.
Go to Georgia.
Yeah.
Don't get upset because he answered your prayer.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. And that's why it's a process.
Yeah.
You got to remember it's a process. There are steps that you got to go through. It's like a ladder standing up. If you want to get up there to those lights, you can't jump from here to the top.
Right.
You got to go step by step.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And you subject to slip.
Oh, for sure.
But don't get off the ladder. Keep going up. See? And that's what happens most time when it don't work out the way people done told you it's going to work out.
You said a key word, people.
Yeah. Then, we said, well, this ain't going to work like this.
Exactly.
They done lied to me.
And one thing I noticed about myself, that even when there was a point back home where I was like, okay, I'm going to try this following Jesus thing for real.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? It just sounds, like I'm going to try it. But then when I found myself, okay, like, no, this ain't working. Why you think you serve a microwave God?
Like,
like, I had to really think, like, did I give the same effort when I was in sin that I give to God? Okay, let's keep it a buck. Did I give the same effort to Satan? Because I went all out. Satan said, "Hey, go talk to that chick. It's on. Go talk to that chick. Hey, go drink this. Hey, do X, Y, Z." I follow instructions. Great.
Yeah.
I followed instructions. Dang near to the T. So now that I'm on God's side, can you do that the same way? And watch what happened. And to me, I seen this thing through. First few years, I struggled, y'all. Struggle bus. Yeah. Addiction is a real thing, and it's nothing that you overcome overnight.
Unless God give you a miracle.
Jesus. And if you do, I need you on this show.
But most time you got to work through it, because it doesn't mean anything to you until you put the work in.
Yeah.
You got to put the work in. And it ain't going to... Listen, I can pray for you all day long.
Right.
To stop drinking.
Right.
But until you get in your head, I need to do something differently, nothing will change for you. I don't care what it is. Nothing will change.
I think Mom broke it down to me, because we was at a point in a time where Mom said, we're rooting from you on the sideline. But ultimately, it's up for you the person to actually run and physically make the change. All we doing, we're just rooting, trying to make sure, hey,
come on, let's go.
Yeah,
man.
we're trying to help you cross the finish line. Yeah. But ultimately, it's literally up to that person.
Yeah.
That's why we can't get frustrated. And I think the Bible says one plant seed, other water.
One plant, one water.
Yeah. So
and God gives the increase.
So I understand that more now.
Yeah.
Because for me, I stay planting seeds, and I know God. If He can save a broken wretch like me, He can save anybody.
But see, this is the thing. When I shook your hand, I planted a seed.
That's what I'm saying.
When I spoke to you.
Come on, Pop.
and then you gonna go on back up yonder,
right?
And think you were gonna stay.
Good. Hey, it was a great idea, but it wasn't a God idea. And it was real.
Yeah, I ain't leaving my homie.
Cause here's the crazy.
Why would I go to a place I don't know nobody but one person?
Yeah, and she had like she ain't know nobody. She had no help either. So, but I think the great thing about it is, and Mom tells it all the time, like, hey, Mo came here to sell drugs and take over. Like, that was, yeah. I was like, okay, well then if I'm going back, I might as well go back with some stuff that I know I'm good at.
Yeah.
I'm not selling drugs. That plan got busted.
Like, busted.
And I think it was just, a lot of times we do that low-hanging fruit stuff. We feel like we just like, okay, since I trapped here, I might as well go ahead and trap here too.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have probably got my head blew up by one of these country people. No offense. Don't take that wrong. I'm just saying, I'm from the city, so coming here, I know y'all do things different.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I do want to touch base on before we do get out of here, Pop, because you have been a pillar in my life. Like, you're the reason why Mo is made over. And people like say it all the time, like, you know, like, listen, I like the name Mo, but understand Mo is not me. For me, it's a permanent decision to continually to be made over. Not like to take what you give and repeatedly apply. Yeah. And I'm talking daily. So now that we got you on this on our on this set and doing this, what is something that you're going to be looking forward in doing this whole platform? Because this like AI to you right now. You know, you from the Stone Age. You know, like, well,
wait a minute now.
No, I was just, you know,
I ain't too
you up
far
there.
Removed now, you know. But,
well, I mean, but you up there.
I mean, do a Zoom count?
You know what I'm saying? But
I think what I'm looking forward to is just being me.
Yeah.
And do what I do. And just hear what God says.
Yeah.
And just move forward. You know? I was going to ask you about, do you have a way for people to respond?
Oh, yeah.
We'll
put a link in the description of the podcast so that people can either ask questions or it's something that
challenging me about what I'm saying now.
I mean, hold on.
You got a question though. I'll be happy to answer that and
what I'm
try
saying,
to help you to understand it.
What I'm saying is, if we don't send a limo, and you know, I think a lot of times people try to challenge. That's just an aggressive question.
Yeah. Well, let me give this disclaimer then.
Go ahead.
As it relates to that.
Do your thing.
I don't know everything.
Off rip.
But I know what I know. I know what I know.
Yeah.
And most people, even including you all, y'all really don't know my story.
Yeah, we're going to find out all of that.
See, the things that I've been through, the things I've had to experience, the things I've had to endure in my life. And so, you know, I've experienced a lot of things. I'm in the helping field, so
got you.
That's in my blood.
Got you.
You know, all of my jobs have been in the helping field, particularly dealing with people's feelings and emotions and things that they've gone through and stuff like that. So it's something I've always been able to do. Yeah. So,
and I believe we're gonna get into that on the next episode. The next episode will be the introduction of who is Pop. We're gonna get to know you.
You get a little something.
a little something. But for right now, we want to thank y'all for tuning in to this episode. I am Mr. Mo.
And I'm Pops, and I appreciate being here.
Peace out. People still say peace?
If they want to.
I can't let it go by. I waited my whole life for a chance like this. It's getting, I know